Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Inspired by King Bob's Kingdom. Check him out on YouTube. I've decided to do a setup video for myself. It's been a little bit since my last one, and well, we had a couple things added to the entire setup. So let's go ahead and just take a look from the get-go. First thing I have is two ultra-wide monitors. So we have one on the left, one on the right. The one in the middle, the one on the right I should say, is an OLED. The one on the left is a LCD. But boy, OLED with Flight Sim is something impressive. You can even tell just in this video, the left, how it's not as dark, right? You look on the right side there, and that is a dark looking screen. The one on the left, not as dark. That's just an example of what OLED could do for you. We're not here to talk about OLED, we're here to talk about Flight Sim, right? So my controls, let's go on down here. This is all being powered, well, not being powered, but controls-wise, we have the Thrustmaster TCA Yoke, which I absolutely love, upgraded from the Honeycomb Alpha. Now, the one thing to keep in mind when it comes to this yoke is that it is extended out pretty darn far, so keep that in mind. Now, I do have a monitor riser here, so you can see there's about, I don't know, 3 inches or so above the yoke itself here in the back. And that just raises the keyboard up so I can still have the keyboard on top of it. There are other ways you can do it, but it works really well for me. I actually might find one that's a little bit shorter. Maybe, I don't know, I probably need about 2 inches maybe or something like that. I think it's a little tall as it is right now, but it works just fine. Moving on down here, let's go and take a look at some of the WinWing stuff. So we have on the top, we have, of course, just the Stream Deck. Now I'm using Flight Tracker, which is available on the Stream Deck store, to do things such as wind and all that jazz, right? On the right hand side we have the EFIS. This is the weird setup I have here, but it works really well for this setup. I have the WinWing EFIS on top, and on the bottom here we have the FCU itself, and these are fantastic for the price tags. There are concerns about WinWing's customer support, but in terms of the product itself, it's very, very good. You can see in the background here, if I just swing on over, I also do have the Ursa Minor side stick, which I don't really use, but I have it as a backup in case, in case you really need to have it. Now we go on down over to more controls. We have the recent edition, well, one of the recent editions. This is the Moza MTQ. This thing I had my question marks with, right? Because it's $200. You have to get it directly from Moza currently. But I was like, well, it's pretty small, it's compact, I don't know how the controls will be. I tell you what, man, this is one of the best purchases I have made, honestly. The axis, for the throttle itself, feel really, really good. Now, the Boeing handles here, they come separately, they're $30. They also have an Airbus package, which I'm hoping I get as a Christmas present. At least that's what I told my wife. It is small, it's nice and compact. I had it prior to this. I had the Honeycomb Bravo, which I absolutely love. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend it as a product. The Bravo does take a lot of space. It takes a lot of space on your setup. This is super compact and does the job well. My only complaint, honestly, with this thing is the flap lever here. Now, this thing has D-dents, and you can't remove them. They're stuck there for life. So, which means if you're doing, the crazy part is these are Boeing handles, but D-dents aren't in the Boeing, right? But you can make them work. You can certainly make them work. So I made it an axis instead of a button. So by the default configuration within the Moza software, each one of these is considered a button, right? I just made it an axis, and it works just fine in now both the in the Boeings and Airbus planes, no problem. You have to make things work, but it works just fine. People have complained about the gear. I have no problem with the gear. All the buttons feel really good, all that jazz. Now, the most recent addition is this guy here. This is the Rowsfire Alpha 106. Now, this one I got for free. This is a, they sent me a free one, said, hey, you want to use it? Do a video if you'd like to. Just make sure you let us know that you did a video. I absolutely love this thing. I didn't think I was actually going to use it as much as I have, but anytime I'm in an Airbus now, I pop it in. Well, at least the two planes that I have for Airbus that I use the most, which would be the 319, so the FENIX, any of the FENIX versions, and then I also have a profile set up for the A350, which I don't use as often, but recently I've used a couple times. And these are really cool. The buttons feel really, really good. The switches here are really good. The 3D modeling, the 3D printing, should say, is really good on this. Now, the outside is a metal frame, which is apparently an updated version that they made. But it's really, really easy to use. If you've used Mobiflight at all, which is what this uses, it's piece of cake to program things. I even have things programmed for my 777, which I made a video on, and also for the iFly Max. So there are some things that work, some things that don't work, so keep that in mind if you consider getting this thing. It's fantastic, though. I'm really interested in getting the Boeing one, personally. And then what I'm going to do is, I've talked about this on stream before, but if you don't watch that, I'm going to, right now on the bottom, it's double-sided tape. What I'm going to do is put Velcro on the bottom of each one of them, and then I can just interchange them, right? So I can plop this off, plop in the Boeing one, and vice versa. And all you got to do, all it is a USB plug in here. And that's going to be really, really cool. I'm super excited to get that, as long as it's the same size and fits, and all that jazz, right? And then let's go up here. We got one more Stream Deck. That's this guy up here. Again, this is the flight tracker stuff primarily. So I got the navigations on there, and I have the squawk and landing lights, stuff like that. Just kind of points of references that I use. Go back down here real quick. I do use some of these switches for landing lights too, just keep that in mind in case you're ever wondering how that was. On the far bottom here, you can barely see it, but we have the Turtlebeach rudder pedals being held down by the big old medicine ball. These are really, really good. I've considered doing upgrades many times, but you know what? I really like these pedals. They just do a fantastic job at you know, doing rudders. Simple as that. They're fantastic. So that's how that all is. And then if you really want to look at the system here, this is powering everything. This now is a i7-14700K processor powered by a 5080, an MSI 5080, 64 gigs of RAM, and I have several hard drives in there, and of course running Windows 11. Montech for the AIO, which I absolutely love. They're super affordable and do a really, really good job overall at cooling this system down. And of course you got that RGB in there, you know, to get more frames. You gotta have more frames for that. But yeah, that's the setup there. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. And I'm, you know, the cool thing about doing these setup videos and watching other people set up is that everyone has a unique way of doing things, right? And I think that's fantastic. Some people don't like yokes like I do. I absolutely love the yokes, personally. Now, I did mention this in the impressions video I did for this yoke itself, but I did add, I found this up on Google. Someone had put tennis tape on the handles here of the Thrustmaster TCA Yoke, and guess what? It makes it feel much better. It really does give it a little bit more grip. I kind of wish I can get it a little bit higher, which it's kind of harder to do that, but overall it really helped a lot, helped an awful lot. So yeah, so we got the yoke there. Over here on the right hand side we have the TCA, or sorry, we have the FCU, and then we have the Moza controller, and then the overhead panel from Rowsfire. So yeah, fantastic setup. I love this setup. The only thing I guess going forward what I might look at getting is a Boeing glare shield, but you know, that's down the road. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know, give me like a link if you can. I'm not sure if you can here on YouTube, but give me a link of what your setup is or what your primary hardware is. I'm very interested in knowing, and we'll see you for next video. Take care.